YouTube, y'all, we come with another video. We come with the Friends with Joe Rogan effect. Listen, quick lesson before we get into the video. You can't be friends with everybody. Welcome new people, new subscribers. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Let's get to it.
Having friends in high places is a cheat code to becoming successful in any industry.
That's a fact.
But sometimes it feels like it's the only way to become successful in the entertainment industry. This has become more apparent in the stand-up comedy / podcast industry within the past few years. The Joe Rogan effect, or the Brogan effect, is essentially that any comedian who is friends with or regularly featured on the Joe Rogan Experience would have a significant advantage to becoming a wildly successful comedian or podcaster. Some of these comedians are hilarious, and others are clearly not cut from the same cloth. Even Cat Williams has been critical of the Rogan sphere.
That would be like me being on Joe Rogan. Joe don't want me on there. I need to be on Shannon. Joe got 6 comedians that never been funny. He want to push out.
Today we are going to analyze Joe Rogan's impact on the comedy industry and the comics who...
Man, quick disclaimer, bro. This nigga Cat Williams, my nigga, I don't know what he did, who he made a deal with. This nigga got the world going crazy. Like everybody named mama been exposed. He said it's the year of exposing. My nigga dead. Like, nigga, it's only May. Like that, y'all, that is 5 months. But we done had something every month. It's crazy.
Strategically aligned themselves with Rogan to advance their careers, starting with Brendan Schaub, who Joe convinced to become a comedian only to regret that decision a few years later. Wow. In December of 2014, Joe was sitting across the table from UFC heavyweight Brendan Schaub, who was just coming off his second loss in a row, this time by knockout. Joe spent 20 to 30 minutes dissecting Brendan's fighting skill and capabilities, and then blatantly stated that he is not good enough to fight in the UFC.
The reality of your skill set, where you at now, I don't see you beating the elite guys. It's not that you don't try hard, it's not that you're not dedicated, it's not that you're not disciplined, it's not that you're not intelligent. There's that other people can do that you can't do.
Now, Joe was just trying to be honest. He was trying to be a good friend. Their other friend, Brian Callen, who is a stand-up comedian, chimed into the conversation to suggest Schaub had a comedy career in front of him.
What I care about is the fact that you have a future in other things that you're really good at. Like, you're really funny.
Dude, you know
my God.
You know how many pictures that I've gotten sent to me that say, don't put me in a sauna, make me my way out? He's say funny. Dude.
Now, when you have 2 professional comedians telling you that you are funny, and you already host a successful sports / comedy show, it's obvious that pursuing a comedy career is better than continuing to get knocked out in the UFC. So Brendan officially retired from MMA and began podcasting full-time. Schaub has been featured on the Joe Rogan Experience 90 times, which is more than any other guest in history. His exposure to the massive JRE fan base allowed him to bypass the 10-year grind through small clubs and dive bars that all comedians have to do to build their name in the industry. In less than 1 year, Brendan was doing solo stand-up tours, and his shows were in front of fairly large crowds considering he had not proved himself as a funny comedian. He started another podcast called The King and the Sting alongside Theo Von. By the end of 2018, Brendan owned and produced 3 very successful podcasts, was traveling around the country selling out comedy shows while being aligned with some of the biggest comics in the business after just 2 years in. He then released his first stand-up special on Showtime called You'd Be Surprised. Now, releasing a special is a huge moment in a comedian's career, as it stamps a permanent piece of their art that was carefully crafted over years of hard work. Most legendary comics waited 8 to 10 years before they were good enough to release their first special. With an average rating of 1.4 out of 10 stars, it's safe to say that
my God, nigga, 1.4 out of 10? Did them niggas even chuckle? Nigga, what the fuck? No way, bruh. You was that bad that they gave you a 1.4? Nigga, they didn't even smile. They left that bitch pissed. Nigga, did they even get food? Nigga, I would at least rate the food. 1.4 is insane. Oh my God, they hated this nigga. They hated him.
Fans decided that Brendan was not ready, and while I'm not going to sit here and pick apart his entire special, his first joke about getting a haircut definitely speaks volumes about what he thinks is a good punchline.
But don't sweat it, bro. We got Jamal here. He's very good. Just sit in the chair, he'll be right with you. So I sit in the chair, I'm thinking to myself, all right, clearly Jamal's a black dude. This dude comes out of the bathroom, he's all, what's up, man? I'm Jamal. He was Asian as shit. feel way better about this if I needed help with math or something, you know? I was like...
The joke is 2 minutes long, but the whole story...
I ain't gonna lie, that shit ass. And listen, I'm trying to give you some leeway. Like, his name Jamon, you thought he was black. Okay, that's cool. He's Asian. Oh, he'll be better if I need help with math.
Story was about how he got a bad haircut by an Asian barber named Jamal. He also made fun of an Asian doctor who was servicing his injury after his loss to Travis Brown.
This giant Asian doctor walks up to him and goes, Mr. Shab, I'm sorry for your loss. He takes out the biggest syringe you've ever seen in your life, like he's out of a goddamn comic book. Goes, Mr. Shab, I have to numb your lip. You need many, many stitches. This be worst pain in your life, guaranteed. Worst pain in your life.
As if the joke wasn't bad enough, this is the actual voice of the doctor he was mimicking.
Oh, no way.
I take care of all the fighters as well as employees.
Oh, that's racist as shit. Oh, nigga, you're fucked. Yeah, you're done. Nigga, no way. No way, you're cooked. Nigga, that nigga got a deeper voice than you. Nigga, you can't play with this nigga. What the take this shit back. His voice sound like, what?
Worst pain in your life.
As if the joke wasn't bad enough, this is the actual voice of the doctor he was mimicking.
I take care of all the fighters as well as employees within the UFC family.
Even Rogan said years later that Schaub's special was a mistake.
The first one, I would have probably tried to talk you out of it, but I already talked you out of fighting.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't talk about this too.
Joe now admits that Brendan was not funny enough to release a special, but continuously
Y'all was just telling that nigga he was funny to do it. What the fuck?
allows him to promote his comedy to the millions of JRE viewers. They both convinced the JRE community that Brendan's second comedy special, Gringo Poppy, was going to be much better, and somehow Brendan outdid his last performance, going from one...
Nigga, just stop. Fuck it. Just stop. Don't even touch this. How does it get lower? How does it get lower? Nigga, I don't even think this is possible. Nigga, I thought 1.4. Nigga, it gets lower. Retire. Oh my god. They basically telling this nigga he ain't good at shit. What the
0.4 stars to 1.1 out of 10 stars. Rogan continuing to amplify Schaub just pissed off the fandom. This guy is my hero. Average fighter, average podcaster, terrible comedian, awful fighting analysis. He's proven you don't have to be great at anything to be successful. Now, I'm not blaming Joe for the mass hatred towards Schaub. He definitely did that to himself. If anything, this just proves that Joe is a good friend, willing to continuously promote his buddy despite the obvious lack of comedic talent. Which begs the question that people have been asking for years. Does Joe Rogan understand comedy? Because there have been countless examples of jokes sliding right over his smooth, round head. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the easiest way to play fantasy sports.
How you gonna just tell me it went over his smooth, bald head and then go immediately to an ad? Sir, it don't work like that, what?
It makes watching the NBA even more interesting for me. So rep your team and make your own picks with Underdog.
My team already got kicked out the playoffs. I don't care.
Infanticide. They kill babies.
They do it on purpose.
Yeah. Well, they killed their own.
Was so smart and thoughtful. He wrote my 4 best movies. That's why he died. I made Tusk and Yoga Hosers. Like, without that dog writing for me.
How'd he write for you?
It's a joke, Joe. He was feral. He's just saying he was so smart.
Bro.
He was so smart. How smart was he? He's so smart he wrote my last few scripts. Joke didn't quite land.
So I was missing something. I wasn't paying attention.
Since Joe Rogan has been a comedian for 36 years and is the highest ranking comedy tastemaker, you would assume that no joke would ever have to be explained to him.
That all came from a pair of rich, noble... Where were they again? In France?
Wiggers, I think they call them.
No, Wiggers are white people that wish they were black. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah. We had the first one at our school growing up, and they put him in learning disabled classes. How crazy is that? Yeah.
You guys did the first one ever? I doubt it.
Joe being so quick to explain or take a comedian's words so literally is arguably more hilarious than if he just laughed. And to be fair...
I think, like, maybe he doing it on purpose. Like, there's no fucking way he's just not understanding what this nigga trying to say. Or maybe, like, he did us, like, I don't know.
What makes Theo Von so funny is that you never really know if what he's saying is true or not.
You could also not see your body if you want. Like, I'll go sometimes, you know, I remember one time I went like 8 months without seeing my legs.
Theo's first appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience was in March of 2017. By
Really?
then, he already had a Netflix special that came out 1 full year earlier.
Wow.
Now, getting a Netflix comedy special is huge today, and it definitely still was in 2016. But you have to consider Netflix had 75% less subscribers back then, so way less people had the potential to see it. It wasn't until Theo started making appearances on podcasts that he developed such a diehard fan base. So getting on Joe Rogan was arguably more important than Netflix. And it was on this very first appearance where Theo's ridiculousness and Joe's killing the joke dynamic was established.
Like if a plane crashed, I already know I'm planning ahead, dude. I'd eat a Vietnamese guy.
Why?
Because that's easy. It's a starter move. If you attack somebody bigger, if you eat somebody bigger in front of other people, it's going to alarm people.
You got to eat a small person, so stature is important.
I think if you gum down a Viet, people aren't going to be that upset at you.
Well, the Vietnamese people are going to be super upset. What are you talking about?
No,
Somebody's dad.
Yeah, they're more understanding of things, dude.
Joe begins to take Theo seriously and starts talking about why Theo's wrong here. But Theo is a master and is able to use Joe's own boring tangent as the punchline.
But what is interesting is like Vietnam is one of the few places where Americans can go back to Vietnam and they don't seem to hold any grudge at all.
Exhibit A. Exhibit A, man, honestly.
Theo told another story about being neighbors with and working out with David Duke.
The fuck you got on? Nigga, is that the Ku Klux? Nigga, what is this? Nigga, I was finna laugh and then I saw this. What, sir? What is this? This either better be a Ghostbuster fucking, like a uniform, cause this can't be what I think it is.
Who was a KKK member elected.
Motherfucker. See, I try to get this nigga some fucking leeway. Wait, take this shit back. He was a what?
And is able to use Joe's own boring tangent as the punchline.
But what is interesting is like Vietnam is one of the few places where Americans can go back to Vietnam and they don't seem to hold any grudge at all.
Exhibit A. Exhibit A, man, honestly.
Theo told another story about being neighbors with and working out with David Duke, who was a KKK member elected as a Louisiana state representative. Instead of hearing Theo's insane story, Joe just began searching Wikipedia to learn about David instead.
Touted himself as a pro-life fiscal conservative, was known as an ex-Klan member. He eschewed overtly racist language and instead pointed to crime in the city, criticizing affirmative action and minority set-asides.
Yeah, I just did chest and tries with him, so I wasn't in all that. You know, we just did basic workout.
Title this, Joe interrupts another guest story to try and remember something that doesn't even contribute to the conversation. Despite this, Theo did make Joe laugh a lot. Some argue that the only time Joe ever belly laughs is because of Theo.
Oh, dude, I used to do, sometimes I would do so much cocaine, my freaking eyes would dry out. And,
look at you grinding. You're thinking about it. You go deep, huh?
Oh, dude.
But you're that dude. You go deep with whatever the fuck you're doing.
I like to get right on the... And I like to be a peeping Tom if I can. I'll watch your whole family eat dinner.
The demand for Theo Von content exploded. The JRE Clips channel would post animated versions of Theo and Joe's conversations that received millions of views, since Theo's recollection of small specific details made it so easy to paint a picture. Every time Theo would appear on JRE, he received a huge boost in subscribers, helping him grow his own This Past Weekend podcast. On his third Rogan appearance on July 6, 2018, he posted his podcast with Jordan Peterson the exact same day, which became his most viewed video on his channel for years. Despite the obvious advantage Theo had by being Joe's friend, he did not abuse it. He's only been a guest on the podcast 7 times in 8 years. Theo clearly wanted to build a name for himself, start his own empire, and create an environment where people would understand him and his humor instead of Joe missing 50% of his jokes. And at this point, the awkward silence where Joe either ignores a joke or doesn't understand it, and then the comedian is trying to figure out how to pivot, is funnier than if the joke just actually landed.
Everyone has the right to be whatever they are.
Oh, you think?
I think so.
What about Nazis?
They have more of a right. A third right.
I don't think that's right. I think it's something. That's a different word.
Reich?
Yeah. What does that even mean? What is Third Reich?
I don't know.
I know what the Third Reich is, but I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it was.
Take a guess. I literally have no idea what that means.
You could argue that Joe's podcast is so multifaceted, covering a wide range of topics such as news, pop culture, UFC, cold plunging, alien conspiracies, DMT,
bro, I think that's what makes a podcast so fire, bro. Like, stop. Like, don't just have. Well, no. I don't want to, like, discredit. Because it's like some podcasts where you should only just talk about one thing. Like, if you're not like, if you're not into a bunch of different things, don't talk about a bunch of different things. If you only can speak about relationships and self-improvement, stick to that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you like a Joe Rogan type of nigga where you could go news, pop culture, hip hop, bro, do it, bro. You could do, like, it's not even about the like, it's not even about like the audience you can have, bro. Just do what you want to do. Like, at the end of the day, I think that's like, people will try to put you in a box like, oh, he's the guy who talks about aliens and stuff. Man, if you want to talk about different stuff, talk about it.
Pansies, that it's difficult for him to immediately assess a joke when he is discussing something serious.
How old
then
is
again,
Joe
why
Rogan?
wouldn't you expect a comedian to crack jokes no matter what you're talking about?
That nigga like
That's their
52.
job.
I'm gonna give
Or
him
maybe
52.
Joe is playing the straight man role, which
What?
is the partner in a comedy team who feeds lines to the other comedian who then makes witty replies. One person we can guarantee he is not playing this role to is Brian Callen. Joe and Brian have been friends for decades, and Brian has co-hosted the podcast 85 times. You would think Joe would understand that Brian pretending to be a tough guy is a funny gimmick since he is a small old man.
I got bullied for a full year, and it turned me into if somebody tried to bully me, I'll show up at your house and kill you. That's what happens. I get so angry.
I'm not buying that even remotely.
I hate
The next time I'm not buying that.
Bully me.
You know what
you try to bully me right now,
Hold on, let me handle this. Here's the problem. You've talked to too many guys that let you say shit like that, and then it becomes like vernacular.
And in case you're wondering, this is how you're supposed to riff with Brian
Wait,
when
hold on. That's that nigga? Oh, hell no.
he starts running his mouth.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Yeah.
Watch your tongue.
Okay. What's gonna happen? What are you gonna do? Use some of that boxing you've been doing?
But since Joe has been a diehard UFC fan and employee since day one, he is not even remotely interested
That nigga look young as hell right here.
Should
What
they
the
do
hell?
something like that in UFC where different people that are more behind the scenes fight each other?
No.
So, you versus Bruce Buffer.
No.
Would you watch that?
No, you want to watch people fight that are actual fighters.
So when Brian turns on this tough guy act, Joe is convinced he's being serious because he hangs around fighters and hits the gym occasionally. Then again, you could argue that Joe is just genuinely sick of Brian and has been listening to his bullshit for years. Like on episode 2000.
Isn't this nigga bring this nigga on though? Isn't it Joe Rogan's podcast? So nigga, you tired of him? Why you keep the fuck?
17, when Brian was joking about Shaw returning to the UFC to fight Derek Lewis.
He was throwing Derek Lewis out there with no gloves.
Good lord.
But wait, hold on. Just hear me out.
Do you want to die?
Sir, hear me out.
What?
I'm just talking about just shoot a blast double.
Shut the
Hit the ground and then we got that.
The fuck up.
That nigga's on his
Shut
head.
the fuck up.
And despite being on Rogan's podcast 85 times, Brian Callen has yet to prove to the audience that he is funny. Callen has released 4 specials over the past 12 years, and none of them were purchased by a major streaming network.
Damn.
All of them were released for free online, and the most popular one has not even reached 1 million views.
Wow.
Callen's comedy is just okay. It's solid. It's decent, which some would argue is worse than being bad. Being so middle of the road that you can't say anything positive or negative. It just exists. Luckily, Brian has Joe so he can maintain his career and finances.
Is that his dad? They look fucking just alike. What the fuck? Nigga, I thought this was the old picture of this nigga and this was the new one. What the fuck? This gotta be his dad. But why his dad look... This can't be his dad, because if it is his dad, why he look younger than the son? See, bro, y'all, this is why, like, I know for a fact I could never do drugs. Because, like, I would just talk myself into oblivion, and I would just really be sitting here just like, what the fuck? See, y'all, this... Like, some people got their own lane. Drugs is not mine.
Recently on the podcast, he tried to divert the conversation to get Joe to promote his newest business venture, Toehold, a luxury flip-flop brand that sells pairs for $1,000 and features really sick designs like Bad Motherfucker and We the People. Sick.
Oh, that's kind of hard. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, put your toes on.
Oh, what the fuck?
Sick. Take those off. Shut the fuck up. Listen to me. Listen to him. Come on. So silly. I know you want to promote your goofy
I'm
flip.
not promoting them. I just got
You can't even
for
call
you.
them toe holds.
Feel them under your
Put your
feet.
toe holds on.
Feel them for you. Feel them under your feet. Come on.
You gotta love Brian panicking when he realizes that Joe making fun of his sandals is not gonna boost sales.
Exactly.
But no worries, they put a quote of Joe on the website saying they are the best flip-flops he ever had. And this is not the first time a comedian came on the show to promote their product that Joe hated. Steve-O came on the pod with a bag full of stuff that he was selling, which Joe was not enthusiastic about, only to completely destroy Steve-O's newest business venture.
Let me tell you about what I'm selling for cheddar.
You got a bag of stuff you're selling?
Steve-O's butt wipes for your butthole.
Oh, well, that's where generally you'd use a butt wipe.
Yeah, flushable butt
You
wipes.
wouldn't use it for your cheeks. They're flushable? Not really. Let me tell you something about those flushable butt wipes. Don't flush them.
Oh, yeah?
No, they all talk to a plumber. Those things all clog up. They don't break down. They get stuck in
Do y'all like flush y'all like toilet paper and like butt wipes, my nigga? Nigga, if you flushing that shit, bro, you gotta, bro. I ain't gonna lie, for like a cool minute, my nigga, I thought that was the way, nigga. I thought that was what you supposed to do until that shit clogged up on my dumb ass, boy. That shit, boy, I'll never forget that shit, boy. Oh my god, I was panicking. I didn't want to tell my mom. I was running around. I was panicking like a bitch, man. But I didn't tell nobody. I was in that bitch for, I swear to God, it took, to me, bro, I think it took like an hour and 30 minutes maybe just to unclog that motherfucker. That shit was crazy.
Pipes. Yeah.
That shit was insane.
Google are butt wipes flushable? Flushable butt wipes. Are they flushable?
Maybe it is
They're
flushable.
not.
Who knows?
They
Maybe
tell
they
you
break
don't
up or
flush
something.
them. You're flushing a rag down the toilet. You're not even supposed to flush paper towels. Paper towels break down in your hand when you get them wet. Those things don't break down. Don't sell those.
Joe quite literally said the words, "Don't sell those." As Steve-O stuttered and tried to figure out what to say, Joe proceeded to spend the next 5 minutes proving his argument how flushable wipes will lead to catastrophic plumbing issues that will cost thousands of dollars to repair and will harm the safety of the public water supply. Joe decimated the product, and Steve-O thought he was going to get a quick plug, which again is a testament of Joe's character. He might be your buddy, but he's not just going to blindly co-sign whatever product you're promoting. However, this is nothing compared to Shane Gillis, who straight up said to Joe's face he was using him for publicity. In 2019, Shane Gillis was a buzzing comedian recognized by the industry for being a rising star. He secured
y'all, this go back to what I said in the beginning. Not everybody your friend, bro. Some people will try to use you. Like, say you get the popping or say you got money. Niggas will be around you because you got like a name for yourself or because you got money. People are weird. But it's like, listen. So I want to break it down. We're going to have this conversation. Is it good or bad? Is that a negative or a good thing that people are technically, like, I think it's not necessarily a bad thing unless they just, unless that's all they fucking try to do. It's like, oh, I'm tied in with this person. Like, we go back in the, like, if their whole brand is just knowing me, no.
the coveted position as a writer for Saturday Night Live. Having SNL on your resume is strong enough to build an entire career off of.
Really?
However, Shane was fired just 5 days later, making it the shortest tenure in...
Nigga got homophobic and racist. Nigga, goodbye. Nigga, man, how? Man, why do y'all think this is funny? Like,
SNL history.
It depends
He was
how you
fired
do
for
it.
making a racist...
Like, to say it's like homophobic, bro, you gotta be like... You gotta be actually funny. You can't just be saying, "Hey, I was in class and the lights turned out, and I ain't see Jamal no more." Cause he be like, but nigga, you know how many times I've heard that shit from like not even comedians, nigga, from students. Man, try again.
Joke on his podcast where he used the CH slur to describe Chinese people in a joke. 2 years after he was fired, Shane went on Rogan's podcast to tell the story. Shane was detailing the events that led to his termination and tried to make a joke about the conversation he had with Lorne Michaels, the SNL producer who was about to fire him.
If I get fired here, whatever, I'll just go do Joe Rogan next week and I'll be fine. Anyway, I thought that was funny. No?
What?
I was like, I
Is that what
literally
you thought?
I literally thought that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny.
Well, it could have been funny.
Yeah.
I was booked up, though.
No, it was fine. It was just funny to truly That was a conversation I actually had.
Really?
In Lorne Michaels' office in the middle of that.
That's hilarious.
I was in pure fucking panic.
Terror?
Yeah.
Not only is this awkward moment absolute gold, it also was the first time anyone had ever blatantly said to Joe's face they will use him to advance their career.
Wow.
Now, Shane was joking. The whole joke was
I
that
told my nigga Joe Rogan, bro, like, what the hell? He got, these niggas can't, I ain't gonna lie. He might be 6'3", he might be 6'2", 6'1". I feel like Joe may be like 5'9", 5'10".
that this was a stupid, arrogant thought. At the same time, was it? I mean, you could easily argue that a comedian cracking jokes on Joe Rogan's podcast will get you more career advancement than Saturday Night Live will. When JRE was exclusive to Spotify, it averaged 11 million viewers per episode. Now that it's available on YouTube, I'm sure those numbers have gone up. Not to mention all of the channels that clip his podcast and cross-post across all social medias. Saturday Night Live's season premieres in the past few years have averaged around 4 or 5 million. And that's just the first episode.
I didn't know that.
When's the last time you saw an SNL sketch show up on your For You page? As far as creating an independent comedy career, doing stand-up shows around the country, and boosting your social media followers, Joe Rogan's podcast will help comedians far more than Saturday Night Live. Also, if Shane didn't go on Rogan's podcast to tell this story about him being fired, most people probably wouldn't even know about it. Less than 2 months...
Look at this nigga, bro. Hold on. He told a joke and he just made a nasty ass face.
Also, if Shane didn't go on Rogan's podcast to tell this story about him being fired, most people probably wouldn't even know about it. Less than 2 months after his first JRE episode, Shane recorded his first special and posted it for free on YouTube. This 1-hour set was simply his best jokes in front of a tiny crowd in Austin, Texas, far from the glamorous, high-produced theater performances you typically see. And this was easily the funniest comedy special to come out in the past few years.
Really?
With 26 million views on YouTube and an average 8.4 out of 10 stars, comedy fans love Shane Gillis. And Rogan also loves Shane Gillis. Shane just has to hit him with simple premises like gay jokes for Joe to burst into tears.
Armpit hair doesn't bother me at all.
No.
Doesn't
On
bother
a lady?
me?
So wait, you like jack ladies with armpit hair?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're getting close. You're so close.
She gonna have his bicep around your neck, but you nasty as hell. Nigga dating a
Like a
She-Hulk.
good buzz cut.
Why he
In
laughing
fact,
like that?
Joe thought Shane was so funny
Man,
that
Joe
they
Rogan
started...
laughed like a rat. Like I imagine a rat laughing like that. Why he laugh? Let me see that shit back one more time. Why he laugh like that?
In fact, Joe thought...
No.
Doesn't
On a
bother
lady?
me.
That's fucking.
So wait, you like jack ladies with armpit hair?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're
of
getting
armpit hair.
close. You're
No, he's
so close. That's as close as it gets.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I like a good buzz cut.
Wait, did Joe Rogan ever talk about that
Joe
serial
thought
killer
Shane
that
was
came
so
on his
funny that they started a
podcast?
podcast within the JRE podcast called Protect Our Parks. Rogan, Gillis, Ari Shafir, and Mark Norman have done a 3 to 4 hour podcast roughly once per month for the past 2 years. Within those 2 years, Netflix bought Shane's second special,
What?
Beautiful Dogs.
Motion.
With Netflix comedy being more relevant than ever, this was a huge opportunity for Shane. Since his first special was posted on his own YouTube page, you could argue that maybe he got some biased favoritism. However, Netflix would expose him to a much more broad, unbiased audience, and he seemingly won them over as well, securing a 7.9 out of 10 star rating. Shane Gillis is definitely one of the funniest comedians to come out of the Rogan sphere. He is an example of a comedian who would have gotten to this level of fame and recognition regardless, but being friends with Joe Rogan helped speed up that process a little bit. But besides Shane Gillis and Theo Vaughn, the JRE community is sick and tired of the rest of Joe's core group. Ari Shafir, Bert Kreischer, and even Tom Segura are not celebrated like they used to be. In 2010, Joe invited Ari on the 3rd ever episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Ari was in 9 of the first 100 episodes and has been a guest over 60 times, making him the 4th most frequent guest of all time. It's safe to say he is a day one JRE community member, yet he isn't exactly the most beloved. Ari is not necessarily disliked for his humor, as he is most definitely a seasoned comedian who will make you laugh, but on multiple occasions his jokes come off as mean-spirited and hateful. For example, 4 hours after the reports of the death of...
Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Bro, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. bro. This the GOAT right here. Don't piss me off, bro. Please don't piss me off. Hold on. I'm gonna give you some leeway. I'm gonna take it back a little bit. Don't piss me off.
Spirited and
I was
hateful.
finna say
For
something.
example, 4 hours after the reports of the death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, Ari posted a tweet celebrating his death, and then after catching a huge wave of...
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna move my shit so y'all can see it. Kobe Bryant died 23 years too. He got away with something because all the Hollywood liberals who attacked comedy enjoy rooting for the Lakers more than they dislike. Blah. Big ups to the hero who forgot to gas up his chopper. I hate the Lakers. What a great day. This nigga should be canceled, my nigga. What the fuck? The fuck are you talking about? How do you tweet? Bruh, some niggas, bruh, listen, I genuinely believe some niggas don't need fame. And this niggas like this. Like, how do you see a tragedy happen and try to make a damn joke out of it? Nigga said he died 23 years too late. I don't care who the hell you think you is, nigga. That shit not funny. Bro passed with his daughter and a bunch of people. You weird as shit. Fuck you. I mean, fuck this nigga. Nigga not, man. Oh God, I hate this nigga too. I don't even fuck. This is the only thing I seen from this nigga. I already don't fuck with this nigga. What the fuck wrong with you?
This tweet, he shortly doubled down with a video.
As I know, there's always a lot of like hate, pain in the world, and there's always a bunch of terrible stories. And every once in a while, there's a good story. A good story comes out. The guy who got away with it got his today. Kobe Bryant is a god. I'm here in Charlotte, the home of the team that originally drafted him. Maybe he wouldn't have put that chick in Denver if he'd stayed in Charlotte with the Hornets. But anyway, the point is, dude, it's like...
Rogan tried to explain to his viewers that this is just a part of who Ari is.
The fuck? He the type of... So Joe Rogan, he's the type of nigga, right? That laughs at a nigga who just passed with his daughter. Fuck this nigga. That make it, if that's who he is, fuck him. The fuck? Like you think just cause you told me that, oh, that's just who he is, that's just who I, fuck that nigga. The fuck?
No, I never want to say it's a good thing that he did that, but he needed to know that there are consequences for just saying ridiculous shit that you're not supposed to say when people die.
And like the good friend that Rogan is, he even went as far as taking partial responsibility for another grown man's actions to try and take some of the heat off Ari's back.
That's tough.
One part of me
was
responsible. This is why. I convinced him that he could have an iPhone and that he could be okay. Just put a timer on it. I go, just put a timer on it. I go, my daughter has a timer on her phone. She can only use it for an hour a day. Just put a timer on your phone. And he should have stuck with a flip phone, man.
Then again, Rogan simply laughed off Ari's behavior when he decided to spike Bert Kreischer's drink with Molly. One night, Bert invited his friend and fellow comedian Ari Shaffir over to his house to do a podcast. Ari shook Bert's 13 and 15-year-old daughter's hands, walked into the podcast room where they were going to share some drinks. Then Ari decided to secretly slip a capsule of MDMA, aka Molly, into Bert's drink without him.
How was this nigga not arrested? Bro, this the only two things I heard about this nigga, and I don't fuck with him. What? Bro. Nigga, we done heard people do this. And this nigga been caught on camera doing it, and he ain't arrested and gone? How does he have a career? Bro, I don't care which, bro. Oh, Joe Rogan, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say to defend this. He put Molly in his friend's drink. Bro, no, hell no, bro. See, bro, some of y'all, bro, there's no way I can't be friends with people like this. Cause they the type of person, it's just a prank. No.
Knowing. Bert went into a full-blown panic, and it didn't make it any easier that he had to get on a flight early the next morning.
Wow.
But Joe Rogan thought the situation was hilarious.
Because he spiked Bert? He gave his friend Molly? That's not okay.
It's not okay.
But wait, that's hilarious though. Still hilarious.
I don't believe your fake anger. There's no fake anger in this. Here's what I did.
I was on your side with this, Ari.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. End of story. Thank you.
No, he said it's not on his side. That's not what I heard.
No matter if you're right or wrong, you can always count on Joe to be there for you. The reason he defended Ari so hard is probably because he knows he needs to give Bert Kreischer a reality check, because Bert has let the Rogan fame spiral his life out of control.
Oh, really?
After Bert released his 2009 comedy special, Comfortably Numb, he secured his own reality show on the Travel Channel called Bert the Conqueror. Despite the show being the biggest thing going for him, Joe Rogan and Bill Burr sat down with Bert to tell him some harsh truths. Bert said, "They sat me down and told me, your Travel Channel show sucks.
Damn.
You're funnier than that. You need to do specials. You need to do podcasts." Burr remembers the conversation vividly. He was down in the dumps trying to figure out what the next move was, and Joe Rogan and I were just starting podcasting. Joe is 100% the reason why Bert quit TV and began pursuing comedy and podcasting more seriously. But he did more than that. He invited Bert to be a regular on JRE from the very beginning. Bert has been a guest 37 times. In the beginning, the JRE community treated him like their funny fat friend who has some of the most ridiculous stories. He became wildly successful, securing multiple Netflix specials, his own reality TV show called The Cabin with Bert. The 2021/2022 Birdie Boy Tour was ranked number 4 in the top 10 highest grossing tours of the year, achieving a gross revenue of $23 million, selling 369,000 tickets over the course of 148 shows, and he even released his own feature film about his life that was in theaters. But the more successful he became, the more self-centered he became, once even referring to fans as pedestrians.
It's so funny, a comic's brain is so different than a pedestrian's brain.
But it just got worse. His alcohol addiction got out of control, his health was severely deteriorating, he became more obnoxious, constantly interrupting people, constantly wanting to be the center of attention. It got so bad where Joe just needed to humble him.
Both Tom and Christina are very nice people, and they'll be very... Shut the fuck up for a second.
Or how about the time Bert tried to convince himself that Netflix photoshopped a different man's stomach on his body for the flyer of his Secret Time special?
My belly has fallen over like everyone else's. When I did Secret Time, I didn't realize that it already happened until they did the billboard of it. And they did the billboard, and I go, "That's not my stomach. My stomach's tight." And it was complete.
You have the craziest, most delusional perspective.
Realizing they're not going to budge, Bert tries to get Joe to compliment his shoulders.
Thought your belly was smaller than that.
I thought I was in great shape. And they put that up on Melrose, and I saw it. I drove past it, and I go, "Oh, they must have put someone else's belly on me or photoshopped it."
Yeah, and then it's like when you go, like, "I have legit the best shoulders."
I do. Hold on, I do. I have legit great shoulders. Like, great fucking shoulders.
Yeah. No, you don't.
Joe, they're ripping through this shirt right now.
Yeah, but you say things you don't really mean it, right? Like, when you say things you know they're not true.
Whether you think he deserves it or not, Joe Rogan has become the biggest comedy tastemaker in the world. I didn't even mention how he moved to Austin, Texas, opened his own comedy club, and created vast new opportunities for comics to maintain their careers. Most comedians don't rely on Joe's podcast for their relevance, but going on there and cracking some jokes isn't all that different than the 90s version of doing a 5-minute set on late night television. The only difference is there's no live crowd, and all you gotta do is make...
Bro, y'all wanna know what's so crazy to me? That there's a science behind being funny. Like it's just some people who just naturally funny, and I genuinely don't think they like plan or try to do anything that's funny. They just actually just fucking funny. Like if I pick up this damn water bottle, niggas might laugh, niggas might. But like if people consider like Kevin Hart back in the day when that nigga was like on top of the world, Kevin Hart could just sip this damn water, this empty ass water bottle, and niggas would just start laughing just cause it's empty. He trying to sip you. Like I don't get life. I don't
One
understand.
bald conspiracy
I'm
theorist
lost.
who barely understands when you are joking laugh a little bit. And yeah, sure, maybe Joe has given some of his buddies an unfair advantage. The good news is you don't have to listen to them, nor do you have to buy tickets to their stand-up or watch their specials. But one thing you can't say about Joe is that he's not a great friend.
I value loyalty a lot. And I remember there was a moment that I was sitting with Joe and he had a phone call with you. Joe was getting canceled for something. They didn't want him commentating the fights. And you on the phone offered your resignation over this. I got teary-eyed over that.
Joe Rogan has been very loyal to me, and I am...
Nah, Joe Rogan. Bro, hell no. Y'all confusing me, bro. This nigga look just like Joe. And I'm not even... Bro, this nigga look just like... What? Y'all make my head hurt, bro. Like, did I see Joe? Anyway, I love y'all. Stay safe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this video. And I'll see y'all next video. We out. Ugh.